Hey guys, my name is Andrew Lombardi, and this is Privacy in the Age of Analytica. You all know what Analytica is referring to, right? All right, I need hands because I can't see anything from up here. Come on, guys. There you go. 3 people know. Cambridge Analytica was very famous for stealing data from a lot of users in Facebook and giving us Trump and Brexit and a lot of other things. A little bit about me. This is my family. It's my wife and my kid. My kid was like this big when I started at Java 2 Days because he was 2, and I've been here. So I've been in business for 20 years. This is my 11th time at Java 2 Days. I'm a published author. We're software consultants and speakers. I invented the internet, so it is my fault. And to our success is my motto, our company motto. This is one of our books. My buddy Joe and I wrote Beginning Spring 5. So if you're at all interested in spring, this is a great primer of that and all the new things. This one's been around for, I guess, 4 years now. So WebSocket is starting to gain in popularity again, which I'm very happy about. And this is how I prepare all my talks. I do a shot of this. I'm kidding. I sip it just a little bit over ice. It's funny. I want to see if I can get him to follow me. They are watching you. If the last couple of years are any indication, 4 or 5 years, we don't even know how much they're watching you. But if you've ever talked to your friends about a product that you were interested in, and then gotten an ad on Instagram or Facebook and thought, wow, they're listening to me. That's creepy. Did you do anything about it, though? So why should you care? So, number 1, it's a limit on power. Any authoritarian or things that are happening all around the world today are due to results of the loss of our privacy, reputation management, security, trust, and freedom of thought and speech. It's probably one of the most important things that you can keep a hold of, and we've all given it away quite willingly. Did you ever say this one? But I have nothing to hide. That might be true. So this is from our friend Edward Snowden. Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. I think a lot of us have a lot of things to say, and it's even more important in this day and age that we get to say it, and corporations and governments don't have the right to infringe on our privacy. So one of the biggest reasons why is identity theft. In 2017, there was 16.7 million victims of identity theft, and I think this figure is only the US. I don't even know how much it would be around the world. I've tried to find figures, and it's nearly impossible. $17 billion in losses, which is a bad day at Facebook. 40% of consumers are generally targets. I didn't know until I started researching this, but 1.3 million children are victims of identity theft every single year. Usually it's children and it's senior citizens. And it's usually from robocalls where they're telling them that I don't know, do you guys get these where they say, hey, you're in trouble with this tax authority or that one? We get those a lot in the US. So this has been a popular website for the longest time. Have I Been Pwned? It has 417 websites in it today. And is that 9 billion? 9 billion accounts have been hacked, according to this. This is probably not even all of it. So, Equifax, it was one of the largest data breaches ever. And it's pretty scary because it's basically half the population of the United States of America. I got in trouble for saying America one time. I have to say the United States of America because there's a lot of countries there too. Anybody, is this a thing in Bulgaria? No? Yeah? Why is this bad? We've got dad, we've got mom. Mom looks like she might be a teacher. John plays soccer. Neil looks like he's got a skateboarding thing. Jessica likes to wear, I don't know, dresses. And they've got two animals, looks like a cat and a dog. Why is this bad? If I see this on the back of your car, I can approach one of your children and say, hey, how's your cat so-and-so? I'm friends with your mom. Well, they don't have the name on this one. No, I know your sister. I know your brother John. It's more important every single day for us to make sure that we're not exposing information that we don't need to. And this is where we do most of it. So, Apple just recently published the top 10 iOS apps on the App Store, and this is the list. Who here uses an Apple phone? It's like 30% of you. Who here uses an Android phone? Oh, man. I only laugh because you're going to learn a lot in the next session about what life would be like on an Android phone without Google. So please, stay for that one. But Android and iOS notwithstanding, so the top list: YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Messenger, Gmail, Netflix, Facebook, Google Maps, and Amazon. One thing to notice about these: YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps, they're all Google. So they have the top 10 apps in the App Store. Billions of apps, I'm sure, at this point. All owned by Google. The other one, Instagram and Facebook. And Messenger, I'm sorry, they've got 3. Our entire life is being controlled by social media companies, advertising companies. Here's the top 10 websites. Some of these I don't know because they're part of an Asian market, it looks like, and more European. I think Baidu is more European, right? Chinese? So Google, YouTube. So Google.com, YouTube.com, they've got the top 2 websites in the world. Facebook.com, obviously, is up there as well. And then, obviously Wikipedia, because we're all trying to finish our book reports from school, even though our professors tell us Wikipedia is not a valid source, right? So Facebook. This is Mark Zuckerberg's face after Cambridge Analytica came out and said, the whole scandal came out, right? Russians hacked the election, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then everybody and their mother decided that they were going to deactivate their Facebook account. Now, I think Facebook is fairly popular in Bulgaria, right? More than Twitter? No? Oh, man, yeah, more. All right. Show of hands, 18 to 25. If there's anybody under 25, I'm not going to tell you how old I am. 18 to 25, who here uses Facebook? Okay. Twitter. Snapchat. How about TikTok? That's a US thing. All right. All right. So this is his face. I like to make him upset and angry. I think that's a wonderful thing. But Facebook also owns these two apps. Who here uses Instagram? Okay, a good portion of you, 50, 60%. WhatsApp? Okay, that's the rest of you. And then we've got Google. Google's revenue in 2018 was $55 billion. It accounted for, I think, 90% of the money that they make. So, if if you're holding an Android phone and you haven't actually gone to our next presenter's talk, you're probably giving a lot of data to Google, and they're making money hand over fist on what you're doing. So Google runs the top 3 apps on iOS, the top 2 websites worldwide. They own, they've created Android. They've got Chromebooks. I don't know if this is the same in Bulgaria, but in the US, most schools all run Chromebooks, which is brilliant by Google, but the way they've done it is a little bit suspect. They own Nest now, and I just got a Fitbit, so I'm going to start doing this more, because otherwise I'm not going to get my steps in. But they own Fitbit. I want to throw this thing through a window now. I might get more steps that way. What do you think they're going to do with Fitbit data? They've got my heart rate. They've got my steps. They've got how I sleep. What kind of useful information can they glean from that? And if you think their privacy policy will protect you, they have all kinds of ways of getting around things like that. Okay. I think the slides got a little bit mixed up, so sorry about that. But I think back. So I think 116 billion is Facebook. Twitter, 2.6 billion. So not as much, but definitely a platform that is not doing too bad. And Amazon. Do you guys use Amazon at all? Yes? $51 billion. And I know most of us are using Amazon for Amazon Web Services, but they're serving ads too. So if you've done any research or done any reading on privacy at all, or Facebook, if it's free, you are the product. There's no way that Facebook, Google, all these companies can run billion-dollar businesses without making money somehow. So if you're not paying them, you're not the customer, you're the product. And how are they monetizing you? By selling your information. Ooh, that looks horrible. I hope nobody has epilepsy. Sorry. Oh, let's not do this. That was a Minority Report. Anybody seen Minority Report? Which one? Oh my gosh, really? Well, kudos to you. I didn't ever watch the old one. I mean the one with Tom Cruise, the guy who jumps on couches and professes his love of things. But it's the Minority Report where he walks around, and every so often he looks up and his eyeballs are being scanned, and they're showing him a custom ad. They may not be scanning our eyeballs, but we live in that reality today. We just willingly carry around the thing that they show the ads to us on. And these things, with the exception of the one in the middle, which also tends to scare me a little bit, These other ones are run by companies that derive all of their information from ads. Who here has a smart speaker in their home? Yeah. So we're willingly giving them a ton more data than I think we want to. So the FBI in the U.S., it's widely known that this is why we should care, because organizations like the FBI, the NSA, I'm sure there are innumerable organizations in every country in the world that are doing things like this, but they're known to have kept files on civil rights activists, presidents. If you knew that a president had, a proclivity toward, it was doing something illegal or doing something embarrassing, and you promised that you wouldn't release it as long as, you were kept out of the way, how would that change how your organizations that should be for the people are being run? So this is another, but I'm not doing anything wrong. So Quintilianus. Give me a Bulgarian name before this one. That's really hard. If you give me 6 lines written by the hand of the most honest of men, I will find something in them which will hang him. So how can we protect ourselves? Well, there's Tor. So Tor stands for the onion router. This is how most people see programmers. They're like, all that code, what are you doing on there? Are you on the dark web thing? But what is it? Whoa, it's catching up. So what is Tor good for? Tor was invented by the Navy in the US, but it's also open source and it's been heavily peer-reviewed. But what's Tor good for? Anonymity. If you're living in a dictatorship, if you're a journalist in an oppressive country, if you're a whistleblower, thinking Edward Snowden, if you're a hacker, or if you just want to do some illegal activity without somebody knowing. No judgment here. Sorry, guys, I hit the button and it's not doing it. So, I don't think we want to live with a tinfoil hat on, or like a hermit. But if it wasn't for these hermits, who would have saved the galaxy? The other thing to do is to use a VPN. Who here has a VPN or uses one currently? It's the cheapest possible way you can use to make sure that you're protected. 100%. If you're going to use a VPN, you should find one that doesn't keep logs, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you just want your privacy. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, this is not working, so I'm just going to do this. You could choose a better browser. Here are 4 that I can recommend. Brave is one, and it's fairly good. I believe it's based on Chromium. Tor is another. I think so. Huh? Okay. It's going to verify my keyboard, guys. They're probably stealing my information right now. This is probably just an injection attack for... Called ANSI. Perfect. Thank you. So Brave is one. It's wonderful. It works really well. It's based on Chromium. Tor is another, but Tor is a little bit more tinfoil hat than maybe you want. Firefox Quantum is awesome. I use Firefox Developer Edition when I'm developing. Quantum is awesome. They do a lot of stuff for privacy in Firefox. This is what they're doing. Safari is super fast. And Apple, I think, over the years has shown that privacy is more important to them than stealing any of your data. I wouldn't use Chrome. You should develop for it. You should make sure you're doing things with it. But you probably have to run at least 4 or 5 different plugins to make sure that Chrome is not basically taking all your stuff. Install some ad blockers. Kablock is a good one for iOS. Disconnect is another. uBlock. The problem with ad blockers is companies like AdBlock Pro, some of the other ones out there, have been known to pay for play. So it's not like they're actually blocking all of the ads out there. And sometimes you want to support the organizations that are showing ads. And if you want to read something on the New York Times website, use Safari or Firefox and open an incognito window. Don't tell them I told you this, okay? But open an incognito window and you'll be fine. You can read whatever you want. Yeah, there's Kablock. It's super simple. It's pretty good. And for God's sakes, turn off location services for mostly anything. If you've got a photo, do you need anybody to know where you took that photo? Why? Twitter? Do you need people to know where you're tweeting from? I don't think that's as important as your privacy. Apple's got good support for this. I know the Android phone has this as well. I don't have any slides for that, but you can change all the location settings in all the different apps on iOS. And here's how to turn it off for the camera. Sorry, this screenshot is not dark mode, but I can see you all now. That's fun. I might keep it on this slide. If you're using email, use a secure email if you're worried. I use Gmail. I know. I don't hate Google, but I try to limit it whatever I can. But I love Gmail. Gmail is wonderful, and you know. But Proton Mail is wonderful. It's a great company. It's a great app. I would, I have an account. Email me if you want. Lombardi@protonmail.com. This is probably the most important thing that you can do. Use a password manager. One of these is fine. I prefer 1Password, but it's only because I use one. Anybody shoot photography? If you shoot photography, you're either a Nikon person or a Canon person, but in the end, none of it matters. All the glass is pretty good. So LastPass is probably great. 1Password is just, it integrates better for me. So here's something that I suggest all of you do. If you're going to a website, let's call it java2days.com. The username is Rakia King, right? I'm not going to show you the password, but it's something silly. But fill in the security questions. Who here actually fills in the security questions accurately? Those of you who are not raising your hands are probably just tired from lunch. I know, I get it. It's really tiring. But most of us do. Why? This is another vector that people can attack you. I don't need people to know what my actual favorite drink is. It is rakia. But which one of the Jonas Brothers is your favorite? It's obviously none of them. But lie. And the only way you can lie without causing any problem is save it in a password manager. I do this for all of the websites that I put this stuff into. I suggest you do this today. This is wonderful. Because if I know these security questions, then I can go to another website and say, oh, well, my mother's maiden name or my favorite dog is. It's just another way for them to get at you. Two-factor authentication, use it wherever you can. Here are the 3 most common applications you can use. A lot of times people say don't use your phone as your two-factor authentication, mostly because phones are easy to hack, as evidenced by Twitter, where Jack Dorsey's phone, I think this was 2 months ago, Jack Dorsey's SIM card got hijacked, and because they have some app where you can send tweets via a phone number, they started sending spammy, weird things off of Jack's account. So don't use your phone. It's easy to hack. And I don't know if anybody does this, and if you do, fine, but if you've got your wallet, which has got your phone, your money, and your cards on it, I don't get it. I know it's more convenient, but if I'm a thief, you're making it so easy on me. I mean, thank you, but come on. Firefox sends out these now. Oh, this is a bright one too, so I can see you all. Hi. Sends out these, and it's scary because there's so many of them these days. Don't Google Duckle. Hey, there's one. I have not found in several years of using DuckDuckGo that the results are any worse than Google. You're usually better, and sure, it's not as personalized, but you're all just searching on Stack Overflow anyway, so let's be honest. DuckDuckGo is awesome. Install it today, make it your default browser on every browser that you have. It's the best thing that you can do for privacy. Don't give Google anything any more than you need to. There are supportive laws out there now. Obviously, GDPR in Europe, California Privacy Act, which is starting next year. I'm sure there are more, but it's going to take some time. Privacy is rarely lost in one fell swoop. It is usually eroded over time, little bits dissolving almost imperceptibly until we finally begin to notice how much is gone. So we all love our phones, we all love the websites, we all love interacting on social media, but this is killing us. There's some more reading on privacy. I'll put these slides up on Twitter, and I'll give it to everybody. Thank you, guys.